Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan with Progress Pressure Washing. I wanted to make this video about pricing. On rare occasions, we do have potential clients tell us that our pricing is way too high, that they found other people that charge less than half of what we do. We don't know how. We don't know how some companies out there are able to charge so cheap. We do see the advertisements where house washes start at $200, $300. For a very small house, that's what we charge. But for a big house, we would never charge that. We can't. Part of the reason why some companies might be really cheap is because they don't know what they're doing, or they're cutting corners. They're cutting some things out to make it cheap for you, which is bad for your home. Other pressure washers out there should be charging within the price range that they should be charging. A good way to find this out is to go to homewise.com. You can type in pressure washing, cost of pressure washing near me, or cost to pressure wash a house. You put in the zip code, the square footage of your house, it's going to give you a price range. Every company should be charging within that price range. If they're not, if they're charging lower, something's wrong. If they're charging higher, they may not need you as a client. The danger is going for the low prices. Time and again, we talk to clients who use other contractors, not for pressure washing, but just doing contracting work, construction work. And we learn that they're not trying to go for the cheapest. They're not wanting the cheapest. They're just uneducated on what the price should cost. And it's not trying to insult anyone. If you're unfamiliar with the job, unfamiliar with hiring a pressure washer, you're not going to know what the prices should be. So they go for the low price because they think it's just the low end of the price range, and they get hurt badly. They end up having to pay more money to fix a job that was badly done. And that's the whole point of us making this video. Most of us have a car. We regularly wash it. We like to keep it clean. But a car is an expense. The money we put into that vehicle, we don't get it back. And the older it gets, the more value it loses. Now, of course, if you keep it clean and care for it, the value is going to be higher than if you didn't keep it clean. But a home, your property is very different. Your property is an investment. You can make money from it later on. The money you put into it, you could get it back. But if you neglect your property, you're not going to get that money back. What we're doing is we're trying to help you maintain your property. We're trying to help you protect your investment. So if you have a $500,000 home, you're not going to get a house wash that's less than $500. That is a very minimum price at best. And to think of it, that's 1/1000th of the value of your property. Why wouldn't you want to do that? So we charge what we charge because we do our research. We make sure we're using the best products. We make sure we're doing it safely, using those products safely. We are using a lot of water. We're using a lot of pressure. We're using chemicals that can be dangerous. If you hire the wrong people, you're going to be responsible for that damage. They should be responsible. Of course, the company doing the pressure washing should be responsible, but if they're already charging low, very, very low, something's wrong. If they've got nothing behind their name, what can you do? You're stuck with a big bill, you're stuck with damages, you're stuck fixing their problem. And that's all we're trying to say. So we've been noticing that some pressure washing companies are advertising very low prices. We don't know exactly what they're for. Like I said, we don't do the research as to what they're doing, why they're doing it. We just know that some of these prices are for very small houses or very small jobs. There are warranty specifics on how you're supposed to maintain the material on your property. We research all of this. We make sure that we're providing what's supposed to be provided. We make sure we're doing the job right so that we can help you, so that we're not going to hurt your investment in any way. So that's why that video you saw a few weeks ago, where the point of the video was we don't do cheap work. Basically we don't want to be the cheapest. We don't do cheap work. And in fact, the prices that we should be charging, we're actually at the very low end of that range, but it's more expensive than a lot of others out there. And again, you're going to have to do your research as to why. When you're uneducated in a certain aspect of work, you make bad decisions. When you're uneducated in a certain aspect of hiring for work, you make bad decisions. On rare occasions, we do get clients that think we are charging too much. At times, we have bid a job inappropriately. We have bid it way too high. We're fine that we're told that. We will always do the research again to make sure that we're within the price range that we should be charging. The rare occasions, though, that people do tell us we are charging too high and we're not, we're charging very low, that's what is always sparking me to want to make these videos. Is we're realizing that it's a lack of education. We're focusing our efforts, we're focusing our time on doing it right and doing it the best way possible. And from what we've learned, there are so many variables that can hurt your home, and we make sure that we avoid all of those and do it right. So I hope this gives some insight into who we are, into our work ethics, and hope it helps you make a good judgment as to who you hire. We know that there's tons of people out there, not just with pressure washing, but with all types of physical labor, contracting work. Everybody can say they can do anything. And honestly, if it's a cheap price, that should be a bit of a warning, because you're not going to find out until the job is done whether or not it was good. But we can guarantee you that we will do the best job possible.